French General Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "Never interfere with your enemy when he is making a mistake." Up until recently, these words from the British adversary had been heeded by the British government itself. With Labour trailing the Tories in the polls by roughly 20 points, opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn was viewed as a godsend by the Conservative side of British politics. Conservatives viewed the 2020 election as a guaranteed victory, especially after May's surprise win in the Copeland by-election in February. Held by Labour since 1935, the victory was the first time a government gained a seat in a by-election since 1982. Fear, however, began to sink in shortly thereafter, because the government realised that not only is an election scheduled 15 months after Britain is meant to leave the EU, a time when Brexit's pain might be most acutely felt, but that the government's biggest asset might be robbed of them too. After the Copeland by-election victory, it dawned on the Conservative leadership that Corbyn might not be around in 2020 to ensure their victory. A centrist replacement would be far more formidable opponent, and it's only a matter of time before Labour succumbed to that political reality. This is why the government has decided to embrace another Bonaparte quote: attack. The Copeland by-election proved to Conservatives that Labour's dismal polling numbers are indeed transferable into dismal electoral performances. Furthermore, February's other by-election for the seat of Stoke-on-Trent Central saw Labour's voters swing to the Conservatives and UKIP. The Conservatives are rightly emboldened, and while the centrist Liberal Democrats, now single-handedly holding the pro-EU banner, are enjoying a resurgence since their destruction at the polling booths in 2015, it's unclear whether or not they will be strong enough to spoil May's agenda. Potentially voting with the Scottish National Party, who are themselves emboldened having been denied another independence referendum, the two parties could frustrate May and even reduce her majority. This is unlikely, however. The odds are that May can replicate Copeland and leave the battlefield victorious. Even if she does not, the lack of an increased majority does not mean this was a tactical mistake, providing she is returned to government. This election, to paraphrase a Conservative aide, can be summed up in the 3 M's: majority, manifesto, and mandate. Hamstrung by David Cameron's promises from 2015, May does not have the freedom to govern with her own plans. An electoral victory enables her and the new Chancellor to redefine the party's platform and govern in a post-Brexit world. The unenviable task of raising taxes, cutting benefits, and making unpopular decisions will be easier once they are no longer broken promises. Thus, a new manifesto empowers May just as much as an increased majority does, but only the former gives her much needed flexibility when it comes to her government's policies. The final piece of the puzzle is May's mandate. Upon victory, she would be expected to govern until 2022. This means that even if Brexit negotiations were doubled in length, May would still have another year at the helm. This move not only gives her time, but it places electoral pressure on those on the opposite side of the negotiating table. European Council President Donald Tusk and European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker both end their terms in 2019, meaning that Europeans will be shackled by internal political disputes, not the British. Furthermore, it gives her a mandate she will need to ensure that the Parliament supports her Brexit deal. In June 2016, the public supported Brexit. May envisions that she can point to June 2017 as proof that they support her version of it. This enables her to silence the rebellious hard-right flank from within her own party and, combined with an increased majority, ensures she has the numbers to pass any deal she reaches with Brussels. In a single stroke, she can silence dissent within her own ranks and thus amplify the dissent within Europe's. For these 3 reasons, May has decided to lead her troops into uncharted territory. With 2 significant gains to be had even if she doesn't increase her majority, the Prime Minister has made a bold but calculated call. A 2016 election is a much more known entity than a 2020 one, and as such, the Conservatives have decided to seize the moment and go on the offensive. It's unlikely to be May's Waterloo. Thanks for listening to Black Swan Politics. Don't forget to subscribe.